When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts.
Well, come on over. We got us a fight going on that's a good bit of fun.
Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucian and Universal.
Wow.
He's like, man, my daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my daddy controlled the spins. My daddy got the DSPs. My daddy. Drake has a rich baby daddy.
While fans were locked in heated debates over the Kendrick Lamar versus Drake feud, comedian Katt Williams brought a dose of reality. He reminded us that the real winners aren't the rappers themselves, but the major music moguls pulling the strings behind the scenes. One name that stood out, Lucian Grainge, the CEO of Universal Music Group. Kanye West even stoked the flames by referring to Grainge as Drake's sugar daddy, hinting at the cozy relationship between the label head and the Toronto rapper. And there's truth to that. Grainge has struck incredibly lucrative deals with numerous A-list artists under Universal's umbrella. So as fans fiercely debated allegiances, the real power players like Grainge were laughing all the way to the bank. The facts speak volumes. Universal owns the recording contracts of your favorite hip-hop acts, including Kendrick, who signed a major deal with them back in 2020. Even Kanye was once part of their roster through Def Jam until his controversial anti-Semitic remarks led to his ousting. Then there's Drake, rumored to be Grainge's golden boy, allegedly receiving extra perks and protection compared to his peers. Whispers suggest this preferential treatment could stem from Drake's mixed cultural background, making him an invaluable asset in today's diverse musical landscape. While fandoms wage battles over lyrics and diss tracks, the true winners seem to be the business masterminds orchestrating it all from their corporate towers, profiting handsomely from the buzz and hype surrounding their star artists.
Let's talk about you being Jewish real quick.
Let's do that.
Because a lot of people think that, Asher's Jewish.
Right.
He's not. His dad's Jewish. He doesn't really identify. All loves to Jews, but he's not Jewish.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand...
But he wasn't there. He didn't read his portion, first of all.
You didn't have a bar mitzvah.
Come on. Are you serious?
You had a... Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Just tell... You don't understand how big you're about to be in the Jew world.
You don't understand how big it is. First of all, I live in an all-Jewish area. So
Where is that?
Forest Hill.
Okay.
I went to a predominantly Jewish school growing up. I definitely had a bar mitzvah in an Italian restaurant, mind you. Well, there's Jewish, and we have great Jewish dinners like Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur.
First text message you ever sent me. Good Shabbos.
Yep, good Shabbos.
He kept it real.
Yep.
Have you gotten approached yet by the Jewish media yet?
No, I haven't gotten approached by the Jewish media, but somebody today, who I won't mention, was like, how big you're gonna be.
The music world was set ablaze when reports emerged of Drake securing an unprecedented mega deal with Universal Music Group, worth an astounding $400 to $500 million. An unheard of figure that left industry veterans slack-jawed. But here's where the plot thickens. With Drake holding such immense clout, whispers began swirling that this monster contract may have included more than just eye-watering sums of cash. The rumor mill went into overdrive with talks of Drake potentially gaining ownership stakes and rights over other artists' catalogs under Universal's corporate umbrella. And according to underground rumblings, one of the prize assets Drake allegedly had his sights set on was none other than Kendrick Lamar's master recordings, a tantalizing prospect that could explain the roots of their highly publicized beef. But the drama didn't stop there. Kendrick himself stoked the flames further by dropping a blistering diss track accusing Drake and his entire OVO crew of nefarious activities, labeling them traffickers engaged in illicit dealings. As if that wasn't enough fire for one blaze, Kanye West threw his own gas on the inferno during an interview where he name-dropped Lucian Grainge, Universal's CEO, referring to him as Drake's rich baby daddy, insinuating a financially transactional relationship. Adding an even darker undercurrent, Grainge's name had previously surfaced in a lawsuit by Lil Rodney accusing Sean Diddy Combs of running an alleged trafficking operation, which Grainge was accused of funding.
Jewish music mogul and CEO of Universal Studios, Lucian Grainge, is being investigated on charges of allegedly aiding, abetting, and inducing P. Diddy to run a pedophile ex-trafficking ring and is 100% liable for the crimes.
According to the rumor mill, Lucian Grainge himself allegedly instructed Drake to ease off the beef once Kendrick dropped those shocking trafficker accusations. This might explain why Drake's latest track, The Heart Part 6 Inches, has been utterly panned, as if he purposefully served up mediocre bars to diffuse the escalating feud. But here's where things veer into deeply unsettling territory. Comedian Katt Williams has been dropping ominous hints, suggesting that any artist who dares go rogue against the major labels could face dire consequences. His disturbing implication: speaking out against the industry giants like Universal could spell disaster for those brave enough to do so. Williams didn't stop there, alleging that whenever a rapper meets an untimely and violent end, there are shadowy figures at the top profiting from their death in some nefarious way. Chilling claims that cast a dark cloud over some of music's biggest tragedies. Lest we forget, both Michael Jackson and Prince had very public feuds with their respective labels before their sudden deaths. In fact, Michael himself harbored suspicions that Sony was trying to wrestle away control of his master recordings before he passed. Unsettling coincidences, or something far more sinister at play? These are weighty accusations that, if true, point to criminal activities at the highest echelons of the music industry.
I own half of Sony's publishing and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it, but I just did good business, you know.
Williams is suggesting that the real power broker behind this feud is none other than Lucian Grainge, the CEO of Universal Music Group. The implication is that Grainge and Universal are orchestrating things from the shadows, almost like puppet masters pulling strings. A few of the specific claims Williams has made: Grainge allegedly gave Drake the signal to cool off the beef after Kendrick dropped accusations of trafficking against Drake's crew. This may explain why Drake's recent diss track, The Heart Part 6 Inches, was lackluster, as if intentionally diffusing the drama. Williams ominously hinted that artists who dare to go rogue and speak out against major labels like Universal could face dire consequences or unfortunate ends. He alleged that whenever a rapper is violently killed, there are powerful figures at the top profiting from their death in some way. Williams brought up past examples like Michael Jackson and Prince.
So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do it.
The simmering tensions between these two rap titans can be traced back nearly a decade to 2013. It was Kendrick Lamar's fiery guest verse on the Big Sean track Control that allegedly lit the fuse on this long-burning feud. On the track, Kendrick didn't mince words, brazenly calling out some of hip-hop's biggest names, including Drake and J. Cole. To the casual listener, it seemed Kendrick was firmly taking aim, hurling diss bars at his contemporaries. However, Kendrick later clarified that his scathing bars were not intended as personal insults or disrespect towards their skills. Rather, he explained it as an expression of his ravenous hunger and uncompromising ambition to climb to the absolute pinnacle of the rap game. It was the symbolic raising of the gauntlet, a battle cry declaring that King Kendrick was coming for the throne, and anyone occupying it better make room for the new monarch. While not overtly malicious, Kendrick's brazen self-proclamation as the best inevitably ruffled feathers. Whether you perceive it as arrogance or admirable self-belief, that Control verse marked the first salvo in what would blossom into one of hip-hop's most intense and longest-running feuds between the Compton-bred wordsmith and the Sixth God himself. Little did anyone realize just how prophetic and foreshadowing those explosive bars in 2013 would prove to be in the years that followed, as Kendrick and Drake's rivalry transformed from metaphorical into very real, high-stakes battle royale.
I think the ones that really took it out of context was the people that we know want to grab an opportunity that's off the fact of the hype of the record, rather than actually tuning in and listening and knowing how hungry I am. A lot of people think it's about talent. That's where they get it wrong. I'm saying I'm the most hungry in it. You get what I'm saying? I respect the legends in the game. I respect, you dig what I'm saying, people that done it before me. You know, people that lost their lives over this. You know what I'm saying? So, because of what they laid down, I'm going to try to dance it out harder, you know, and breathe it and live it. And that's the point of the whole verse, what I was trying to convey through that verse.
Kendrick's verse on Control wasn't really a diss when you analyze it. Most rappers took it in stride, with some even responding with their own songs. However, Drake took it personally and reacted sensitively to it.
Control, the record, people still banging it, man. Where is Drake at with Control?
I'm probably like as done as like the rest of the world is with that record. Like I think it came and it went, you know what I mean? And not to discredit it, like it was a good moment, but at the end of the day, it's just like, it was like one of those sort of like fleeting like Twitter frenzies that like, it was cool for what it was, you know, and I'm just into making like, my thing is like, I like lasting power, you know, that's my thing. I want you to still be listening to this album in the summer or, you know, next year. I want this to stay in your car, stay on your mind. It's like not even about the music, you know what I mean? It wasn't even about like the content of it. It just seemed to be about like, you know, all the and all the talking at the time, and now everybody's like over it. Nobody plays it. It's just like whatever.
Did that kind of, when you heard your name, did you feel like, man, like that was kind of disrespectful, or did you feel like, you know, our names were just kind of thrown in there and it was...
I feel like he made a decision, you know what I'm saying? And it was a decision to make, you know? He was like, man, I'm either going to go for this moment because I know it's going to be a big moment, or I'm going to like take heed to the fact that I have real relationships and I'm going to like not do that. Cause like, you know, I'll be real, like I've thought of doing that before. You know, I thought like, man, it would be crazy if I just went off on everybody, but it's just kind of like, where does it really get me? Then what? Then every time I rap, people are going to expect me to be confrontational, and when I'm not, then it's not entertaining. You know what I mean? It's like, it kind of puts you in a box a bit. So
I don't think that put Kendrick in a box.
I don't know if I necessarily respect it. You know, we all make decisions. I'm sure he'll be good. He's talented as you know what I'm saying?
For years, the two rap titans had been engaging in subtle jabs and thinly veiled disses tucked away in their song lyrics. But Kendrick took it to a whole new level on his 2022 opus Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by name, dropping Drake on the track Father Time. A pointed reference to Kanye West's short-lived decision to squash his own beef with the sixth god. Speaking of he's now claiming he was manipulated into making that truce. But more on that. The real flashpoint, however, was in March when Kendrick hopped on Future and Metro Boomin's Like That from their new album and took emphatic aim at Drake. It seems J. Cole had previously grouped himself, Drake, and Kendrick as the big three rappers on Drizzy's track First Person Shooter. But K. Dot wasn't having any of that association, firing back on Like That with the fiery bars. F. Sneak dissing, First Person Shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches. FF. The big three, it's just Big Me. Not stopping there, Kendrick then compared himself to Prince, pointing out that the purple one outlived Michael Jackson. A not-so-subtle shot at Drake's own boastful line about being one #1 song away from Michael. With those explosive verses, it was as if Kendrick had thrown a lit match into a gasoline-soaked arena, as every rapper suddenly wanted a piece of the Drake dissing action. Initially, Drake played it cool, telling a Florida crowd in March that there's no man alive who can mess with him. But we all know that was the calm before the inevitable storm.
I got my head up high, my back straight, I'm 10 toes down in Florida or anywhere else I go, and I know that no matter what, it's not a nigga on this earth that can ever me in my life.
Fans were growing restless with Drake's nonchalant motivational speeches and social media posts in the face of Kendrick's lyrical onslaught. They wanted the sixth god to step into the booth and respond with venom of his own to K. Dot and the other rappers piling on with disses. But then Kanye West entered the fray again, hopping on the remix to the very song that ignited this latest firestorm, Future and Metro Boomin's Like That. And in true fashion, he didn't hold back name-dropping Universal Music CEO Lucian Grainge while taking more biting shots at Drake. Where's Lucian? Serve your master. You caught a little bag for your masters. Didn't do a lifetime deal. I feel bad for them, y'all. So out of sight, out of mind, I can't even think of a Drake line. Kanye wasn't done there, though. In a recent interview, he was asked about his previous squashing of the beef with Drake, particularly their united front at the 2021 Larry Hoover benefit concert. However, Ye claimed that if he had known Drake would stab him in the back afterward, he never would have considered that truce. But it was Ye's next revelation that really set tongues wagging. He brought up Lucian Grainge once more, this time referring to the powerful music mogul as Drake's rich baby daddy, implying some sort of transactional Faustian deal between label boss and artist. With Kanye airing such explosive allegations about the relationship between Drake and Universal's leadership, it has added an entirely new layer of intrigue and conspiracy theory to an already fevered rap battle between Drake and Kendrick's camps.
He's like, man, my daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my daddy controlled the spins. My daddy got the DSPs. My daddy, Drake has a rich baby daddy.
Now, after Kendrick fired the first salvos on Like That, Drake finally responded a few weeks later with his own diss track, Pushas. While taking some corny pot shots at Kendrick's height and Taylor Swift collab, Drake attempted to hit below the belt by alleging K-Dot still has to split earnings 50-50 with his former Top Dog Entertainment label. But Drake's real flex was dropping subtle hints about his own rumored $500 million mega deal with Universal Music Group. Unconfirmed reports claim this unprecedented contract not only showers him with an ungodly sum, but also grants him the coveted rights to own his master recordings outright, a luxury virtually unheard of for modern artists. On the track, Major Distribution, Drake seems to reference this mythical deal that has elevated him to rarefied air, rapping, $500 million just for Aubrey, and he's basically saying, I'm on another stratosphere of freedom and perks. So while his rap peers are still bound to their labels, constantly chasing paydays to offset their debts, Drake is portraying himself as unfettered, the proverbial cat that got the cream courtesy of a sweetheart deal. But why does the sixth god get to enjoy such privileges that titans like Michael Jackson and Prince spent careers fighting for? Undoubtedly a commercial juggernaut, but his talents alone can't justify such an anomaly, can they? Which brings us to the fascinating conspiracy theory making the rounds. There are rumblings that Drake's special sauce, the key to unlocking such an unprecedented deal, could very well be rooted in his cultural background, one he intriguingly shares with many of the big wigs atop the music industry hierarchy, including Universal chief Lucian Grainge himself. Are we about to stumble into some clandestine underbelly of the industry where bloodlines, ethnic ties, and other unseen forces exert enormous influence over who gets anointed with such immense privilege? Or is it simply a case of capitalism rewarding its cash cows with lavish compensation packages? Strap in, folks, because we're edging into murky conspiracy territory that could either reveal an ugly truth about how music's elite operate, or devolve into another far-fetched tinfoil hat theory that distracts from the music itself. Regardless, you can't deny the intrigue surrounding Drake's success has ratcheted up exponentially.
Nobody's like, you know how big you're gonna be, and he's like, this has never happened before. It's like every Jew is going to just like really embrace.
Well, here's the thing: there are Jews like my dad who like cling to like the biggest reaches. Yeah. Like, you know who's Jewish? Matt Damon. I'm like, no, he's not, Dad. He's definitely not Jewish. And like people reach, and the fact that you actually identify, that's gonna be like. That's going to be big.
Yeah, it's going to be big.
You're doing something that I could never do.
Social media platforms are abuzz with speculations concerning this topic lately. Certain users assert that Drake's privileged status stems from his association with Jewish executives in the music industry, recalling instances where he appeared to threaten Kanye West using ominous emojis. One commenter even goes so far as to identify Lucian Grainge, the Jewish billionaire CEO, as the individual Drake frequently name drops, almost flaunting his connections to his fellow rappers. Others suggest Drake's intimate ties within the industry afford him the ability to potentially blacklist artists from nationwide radio play if he so desires. The nature of his relationship with Grainge, as alluded to by Kanye, purportedly transcends mere financial dealings. Some allege the Jewish control over hip-hop and pop music on a global scale represents one of the most insidious crimes against Black America since the eras of redlining and civil rights struggles, stunting cultural growth while enriching a select few. However, a darker undercurrent exists regarding Drake's bond with Lucian Grainge, as both have faced serious allegations of involvement in a rumored trafficking ring within the entertainment industry. A recent lawsuit filed against Diddy by producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones has shed light on these claims. The suit names Grainge as a defendant, with Lil Rod repeatedly mentioning his name and insinuating an intimate relationship between Grainge and Diddy. The lawsuit alleges that Lil Rod witnessed Grainge visiting Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles, where the two would disappear into Diddy's bedroom for hours. It further claims Grainge sponsored and attended album listening parties where underage women and workers were present. Lil Rod also accused Grainge of being aware of Diddy serving laced alcoholic beverages at these events. Moreover, Lil Rod revealed that Diddy had hidden cameras installed throughout his residences, capturing footage not only of Grainge but also other high-profile figures like celebrities, music executives, politicians, and athletes. The lawsuit alleges that Grainge, along with other defendants, aided and abetted Diddy's alleged trafficking venture, knowingly benefiting from the coercive practices while providing substantial financial backing. Turning to Drake, whispers have circulated for years about his inappropriate behavior and potential grooming of young women. However, Kendrick Lamar recently heightened scrutiny by suggesting Drake is not merely a creep, but a major player in the purported trafficking operation within the music industry. In his diss track Not Like Us, Kendrick references Drake's 2021 album Certified Lover Boy, labeling Drake and his OVO crew as certified predators. Furthermore, in another recent diss track titled Meet the Grams, Kendrick implies that it's only a matter of time before Drake faces a raid by law enforcement authorities at his Toronto mansion, drawing parallels to Diddy's legal troubles. The cover art for Not Like Us depicts an aerial view of Drake's Toronto estate, nicknamed the Embassy, adorned with markers resembling those used on sex offender registries. While Drake responded with The Heart Part 6, dismissing the allegations as preposterous given his fame, he curiously name-dropped actress Millie Bobby Brown, addressing long-standing rumors about their relationship, despite Kendrick never mentioning her. As scrutiny intensifies over Drake and Diddy's close ties to Lucian Grainge, rumors suggest Grainge may have thrown Diddy under the bus upon learning of alleged secret recordings. Whispers indicate Grainge aims to replace Diddy with Drake in the purported trafficking scheme within the industry. When Kendrick began delving into the trafficking angle, speculation arose that Drake received a directive from his alleged sugar daddy Grainge to end the feud by releasing a lukewarm diss track like The Heart Part 6. However, a surprising twist suggests that Grainge and other industry power brokers initially stoked the beef between Drake and Kendrick to profit from the hype, elevating Drake's status, but slammed the brakes once Kendrick broached the trafficking allegations, especially with Grainge's name surfacing in Diddy's lawsuit. Fans now caution Kendrick to tread carefully, as numerous artists have met tragic fates after attempting to expose the major label's alleged misdeeds. Comedian Katt recently revisited the darker side of the music business, highlighting the untimely deaths of young rappers and intimating that these are not random occurrences, but rather instances where higher-ups profit from such tragedies.
When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up.
Katt also noted that there seems to be a pattern to these tragic events. When a rapper is sacrificed, the powers that be often arrange for someone from the rapper's own city to be the one to take them out as a final blow and a humiliation tactic.
So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do it.
Wow.
I'm saying there's the good side and the bad side of these businesses.
As Katt described it, in the entertainment industry, what you see isn't always what you get. Even when something appears to be a coincidence or just plain bad luck, you can bet it's been meticulously orchestrated and someone on top is raking in the cash from it.
So in all of these situations, there's a business involved and there's real money involved, and somebody's benefiting from this thing that looks like, oh, that just happened. Nah, no way.
Fans think there's more to the Kendrick versus Drake drama. Some believe industry insiders ended the beef when Kendrick mentioned trafficking, suggesting they started it for profit. One Reddit user said, "Record labels got involved because the Drake PDFs looked bad. It's obvious why Dot's camp changed their tune so quickly. Drake likely had the last word in the fake beef, knowing Kendrick's camp couldn't respond." Another listener felt Drake orchestrated a twist in Heart Part 6 to seem victorious while signaling the end of the beef for bigger reasons. What do you think? Did Grainge and others end the beef over Kendrick's trafficking allegations? Share your thoughts below.